Welcome to Art Estate. I'm Nicole Romanoff, and today I'm sitting down with Edmonton-based portrait and branding photographer, Emilie Iggiotti.
I'm a recovered people pleaser, so I want to make people happy. I want to help everyone.
From growing up on Reunion Island to leaving law school behind, Emilie built a values-driven career that champions authentic portraits and minimally retouched images. We dig into her 3-scene branding framework, practical workflow tips, rush-around policies, and the line between authenticity and AI. It's generous, actionable, and inspiring. So if you're ready, let's jump right into my conversation with Emilie Iggiotti. So, that's really cool what you were telling me about having basically your life, because I feel like I'm living your life, but in Saskatoon.
Yes.
Because I also have a studio that I own and rent out to other creatives.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of what fueled my idea for the podcast too, was I was hosting these workshops and I was just bringing these people in, and I was so curious how they started and what their journey is. And I feel like we all have so much to share, and I'm just really looking forward to our chat today. I think that you have so much to offer. Your work is beautiful, and I'm so excited to hear about where you started and how, what your journey has been like. So thank you for being on today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited about this conversation.
And so I was reading about you this morning, and you were born, was it on an island? Now you'll have to help me out there.
Yes.
I just read it, but it's what ocean is it? It's by an ocean.
Yes, it's in the Indian Ocean, so it's near Madagascar. Everyone knows Madagascar because of the Disney movie.
Yeah.
So this is easy to kind of situate. It's locate. It's okay, Indian Ocean. I can see where it is. It's a tiny, tiny island. It is a French island. So I am French and I was born and raised on this tiny island. And then I went to law school in France. So I studied to be a lawyer. I wanted to work in the music industry. I wanted to work with artists. That didn't really happen because I graduated, and then I think I started to look for work at the worst time. There was some type of financial crisis in 2007. I don't remember. So all my dreams about becoming this lawyer in the music industry kind of fell apart. And I was actually looking for a job, and I was applying to jobs all the time, every day. And I got tired of it, and I was very bored. So I started doing scrapbooking, which is very random. And to do scrapbooking, to create those pages with a lot of things and glitter and stuff, I wanted to add photos to it. So that's when I started to go out and take photos of flowers, sunset, landscape. And I really enjoyed taking photos on my own and being in this creative process of let me try to capture this, or okay, how do I get this effect with this photo? So I started really enjoying photography. Got a little point and shoot camera, and then it started like that. And then I started looking, on the internet about photography and going on forums. And then I discovered lifestyle photography. I think this was the term in 2000. And I discovered wedding photographers who were doing a different style of photography. It was way more documentary and kind of a lifestyle, not too posed. And I loved that. So then I really started being obsessed about it. And then I started my photography business like this. So this is in a short summary. This is how I started.
How old were you when you first started?
I was 29 years old. So
29,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember 2009. I'm a 90s kid, so I grew up in the 90s, and then I did my studies, trying to follow the path of I have a good 9 to 5 job, and then I was meant to have a more creative career. So yes.
Well, I feel like we're kindred spirits because I also feel like I started around that age, like photography. It was something that I always
Yeah.
enjoyed and loved, like growing up and in high school. And then, much like you, went to university, got a real job, as they say, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And then after like experiencing a layoff, I was like, I don't think that's for me. And I knew there was something else. And so it was really like this experimental journey for me to get
Yeah.
to where I am today. But so that's really cool that we
Yeah.
have so much in common.
Totally. Yeah. I love
Did you
that.
start in, is it a region of France, would you say, like where you lived?
Yes. So Réunion Island is, they call it a territory. Actually, it's a department of France. It's considered France, but it's
Okay.
overseas. It was colonized million years ago by France. So it is French territory. So we have all of we speak French. It's obviously different. It's a tropical island. So there is a little bit of people are like, wait, you are from an island, but it's French and it's so
Yeah.
far away. It's a 10-hour flight from Réunion Island to France, from Paris.
Really?
So it is quite the trip. But yes, it is a French island. So I didn't start my photography career there on Réunion Island, because I was still in that mindset of like, I'm going to find a job. And then I quit completely. I quit everything, basically. I left the island. I left my boyfriend at that time. I left the legal career, and I moved back with my parents. My parents at that time moved from Réunion Island to Normandy, to France. And so I moved back with them at 29 years old, and I decided to start a photography business. So, and because weddings were kind of like the easy, entryway, I would say.
Yeah.
I had a friend who was also starting shooting weddings. We met online, and she's like, you should just like start shooting weddings and maybe offering portrait session and things like that. And I said, oh my God, okay, sure, I can try. I'm going to give myself a year, and I'll see what happens. And then I started doing this, and started photographing weddings for the friend of a friend, of the sister of a friend, and then I never went back to, my former career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what brought you to Canada?
Then from France to Canada, I met my ex-husband. We started dating, and right away he said to me, after a few months of dating, he's like, actually, I want to move to Montreal, to Quebec. Would you follow me there? And I did. And so I ended up moving from France to Montreal to Quebec. And then we lived a little bit. We lived for 7 years in Quebec. And then he got another job in Edmonton, Alberta. So I followed him again. And then we separated after a year.
Oh, no.
It's all good. It's life. And then I decided, I was like, okay, I'm done traveling. I'm done also starting over my business every time.
Yeah.
I wanted to be more stable. So, and I felt like I had like a really good community in Edmonton. So I said, you know what, I'm going to stay here for a little bit. I really want to, at that time, wanted to transition from weddings to portraits. So I was like, I think this is the right place for me to do that. So this is why I decided to stay in Edmonton.
How long now have you been doing portrait photography?
So portrait photography, I think I started basically when I moved from Montreal to Edmonton. This was 2017. So since 2017, I really started to focus mostly on portraits.
And do you work with mostly women?
Yes. So this is how I started really developing this love of portraits, because I had this feeling, and I talk to many women about, okay, if you're not getting married, if you're not a mother, if if you don't have a family, you don't really get an opportunity to be photographed,
Mm-hmm.
because everything is tied to, a wedding, pregnancy and being a mother. This is when you get your photos taken as a woman. And I was like, wait, but what if you don't do all of those things? Like how do you get your photos taken as an individual? So I wanted to create a space for women where you don't need to be tied to any role. Actually, you can just say, hey, I want to have a photo shoot for myself. I just want to have really good photos of me. I feel good about myself. I love my life and I want to capture this. So I had this idea to create this offering for women to really just be themselves and not have to be kind of like tied to, a partner, a husband, a fiance, a family. So, I called it The Truth in You. This was like my first offering around portraits. And then this offering kind of like moved into branding photography because, again, it's like this idea of like, well, let's capture who you are and what you're doing without really any other, without it being attached to a specific role that you have.
Right. What is it that you love so much about branding photography?
Um, I think it's the creativity and the challenge of, okay, this is this person in front of you and this is what they do. Okay, how do we capture this and how do we showcase their uniqueness, their strength, their skills in a very authentic way, very genuine way, that they are very excited to go online or post on their social media and have their photos on their website. And I feel like this is that creative challenge and the process. It's like, okay, how do we make your brand, your persona, like how do we make it alive? So I think I really love this.
I agree. I do a lot of headshots and I do branding work as well. But I would say that whenever I get to work with a a brand or a woman that's trying to like present herself out to the world, like I get really excited about that because there is like a different sort of like creative element to it, and it's like different compositions, there's like different textures, like there's just so much to it, like, and depending on what their needs are, is it like for a website or is it for social media, like all of the above. So I totally get that. And how do you kind of structure your brand shoots?
So I've developed the past 7 years, I've developed kind of a system because I've realized that, of course, everyone is very unique. Everyone has their own goals and their own business.
Yeah.
And at the same time, a branding shoot is not that complicated. And it's really, the idea is I have a formula where I try to capture portraits, obviously, because everyone needs really good headshots, professional photos of themselves. And then I call the different portions of the photo shoot scenes, because people really a picture in their head, like a movie. It's like scene number 1, this is what we're doing. Scene number 2, we're doing, I call it action shots, because this is more, okay, we're going to focus on what do you do? Do you want to be maybe using your laptop? Maybe you have certain products that you want to use. We want to see you in action, because branding is not just headshots. It's also like, okay, showcasing what you do, who you are, if you have a specific product, we want them to be in the photos.
Yeah.
And then I usually end with scene number 3. For me, it's like, I call it relaxed portraits, because it's the idea of, okay, showcasing the founder behind the brand, and maybe something a little bit more relaxed, something a little bit more chill. Maybe you want to add like I had a client. She's into biking, and she brought a bike to the photo shoot for
Oh, wow.
for those portraits, because she's like, well, this is me, and if I'm talking about myself online on social media, I'm going to talk about cycling and biking because I do that a lot.
Yeah.
So I always remind my clients to really focus, not focus, but like bring the personal, okay, what makes you you, and why do you want to share this brand? And it's like, who are you behind, this business? I think people want to connect with the person behind the business, the owner, and why they started this company and why they started this brand. So that's how I like to structure my branding shoots, because it's kind of like showcasing the full range of like, okay, who this person is, and not just like, oh, this is you're just going to do, your business shots and that's it.
Right. I'm curious to know, like, do you have a set turnaround time for your image delivery?
So I try to, of course, what is the saying? It's like under promise and
under
over
promise,
deliver.
over-deliver. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember who said it, but I feel like I always think about this. So I always say 2 to 4 weeks. And I try to really be close to 2 weeks. And then, it depends also on the kind of like the season. Some seasons are busier, like, as you know. And then, and if it's less busy, obviously I deliver the photos as soon as possible. But 2 weeks is usually, I found that people are pretty good with 2 weeks turnaround.
Do you ever run into the client that's like, so I need these by Monday and it's Friday? How do you deal with that?
Okay, so I stole this from graphic designers, actually. They have a rush, I always forget, a rush editing fee.
Okay.
So basically, they charge a fee. If you want your photos in like 3 business days, I'm going to charge you for it. So now I offer it, and some people actually take it and they say, yeah, I need the photos in less than a week or like in a few days. And I'm like, well, I have a rush fee. So do you want to pay this fee? Otherwise, you have to wait. And usually I bump those people in, in the next editing window, and then I'm able to deliver. But I realized, if you want me to work faster, I mean, you can pay for it, and most people are actually pretty okay with that.
Yeah. And
Yes.
what do you mind if I ask, like, what sort of is it a percentage or just like a dollar amount that you?
Yeah, I think I set it up for like 150, which is maybe, I don't know, I feel like it's pretty decent. It's not, but maybe I'm not charging enough. I don't know. I got inspired by my friends who are graphic designers, and they do that. And I think it's like a standard fee for, like a rush editing in a few days.
Do you do any other kind of shoots besides branding or?
Yeah, I also do portraits. Well, I call them professional portraits. I don't call them headshots because I'm not really like a classic headshot photographer.
Yeah.
I realize it's more portraits, and then
I love that. I love how you're marketing that. It's so good. I'm curious to know, like your journey in branding photography. Do you feel like there was any like mistakes that you made that really kind of made you look at branding differently?
Yeah, I would say mistakes. I don't call them mistakes. I call them lessons.
Smart.
Because I don't want to be too harsh on myself. But, there's always the client that, this one client that comes to you and you want to, of course, I'm a little bit I'm a recovered people pleaser. So I want to make people happy. I want to help everyone. I want everyone to be like, yeah, I'm helping you. But they come with kind of like, not, of course, their own ideas are great, but they don't really understand maybe the the goal of branding. And it's like, okay, I have a process, and they don't really follow the process. Like they don't really. I send a lot of emails about how to prepare for the session. The mood board. Like I want to. It's a collaborative also. Work. Like we're working together. So I feel like, I don't know if some people are so maybe stressed and they don't know what they're doing, so they rely maybe a little bit too much on you as the creative to figure it out their business. And for me, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm here to help, but you are your business. So for me, it's it's hard to work with those clients because they they don't know what they want. So they're like, oh, I do whatever you want. And I'm like, yeah, but this is not my business. I can't decide for you. And then they're not really happy with the results because they didn't really know what they wanted. And you kind of like, I have to do something. I'm booked for an hour with you, 2 hours. I'm going to, make something. But then they're like, oh, that's not really what I wanted. But they didn't really bring their own ideas, their own creativity to it. So it's like trying to, maybe figure it out, those clients, and maybe say, okay, maybe you're not ready for this shoot, or maybe I might not be the good fit for you, because I really want clients who are fully involved. They send me inspiration and they're like, this is what I want to do. What do you think? And they bring, their products and their things. And it's really a time for us to create together and not just like me doing a creative shoot for myself. Yeah.
Oh, I 100% agree. You're trying to share their story, right? Or like you're trying to bring the visuals to what their brand is.
Yes.
And you're going to need that information and that feedback in order to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm curious to know more about like your editing process, because I know that you have a very like light editing approach to your work.
Yeah.
And let's first talk about like the software that you use. Are you a Capture One person, or are you more of a Lightroom gal?
I am a Lightroom gal all the way.
Okay.
Yes, I mostly edit in Lightroom. Obviously, I do certain things in Photoshop because, little things like removing certain things. It's just easier to like doing in Photoshop. But I love my Lightroom. I use presets from Archipelago Presets. They have been my go-to presets company since I started doing photography. I really love the more natural, not natural because this is also edited, but
Yeah.
like true to skin colors, like a little bit of vibrance. I'm not really a muted type of person. I love colors. I love a little punch to my photos. So I really found a really good editing process with Lightroom, my presets that I use. I tweak them a little bit because, again, I don't do much in Photoshop. I have like a love-hate relationship with Photoshop.
Yeah.
People who know me know that it's, don't ask me to Photoshop things. I really found that Lightroom does most of the things that I need, and I don't really need more than that. Because I'm really trying to stay true to the photos, the person. So I'm not doing like heavy retouching, heavy editing. So Lightroom all day, every day.
So what do you say to the client that's like, oh, you can get rid of these wrinkles or this double chin? What do you say to them?
Um, the portrait that I post are this is, the person. It's not heavily retouched. So I actually don't get a lot of those requests. And if I get once in a while, I will actually say, I'm sorry, not sorry. I don't say sorry, but I say, I understand. However, I'm not able to offer this service of heavy retouching. I can recommend a retoucher that does this, but I do not want to really be doing this because I just don't believe in it. I just don't believe in changing your face, changing your body. I really think people are great the way they are. I want people to look at the photos and, yeah, embrace who they are and love who they are. And I really try to take really good pictures of them. And if they don't see the beauty in that photo, in that portrait, I'm not sure I want to be the person associated with, I look different. They look like a different person. So yeah, I usually kind of like send those clients to maybe an editor who does that very well too. I also am not skilled in Photoshop, and I'm not really interested in doing that. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would you remove blemishes, or is that
Yeah.
as far as it would go?
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
obviously, if a client comes to a shoot and they're like, "Oh my God, I just had a zit that popped up last night," and I'm like, obviously, I remove those things. I do a very light skin. It's not even. It's like a skin softening or something that kind of like, make the skin tones even. And obviously, people have their makeup done most of the time for branding shoots. So
Yeah.
this is also helping my editing. And that's why I tell my clients, get your makeup done. I know you're going to feel like you have a lot of makeup, but for the camera, this is not a lot.
And I completely agree.
Yeah, and it's going to help with editing because it's very helping with making the skin look even without the blemishes, like the redness, the dark spots. So this already is helping, and it's like organic. You get a makeup done, and you look already more polished and more put together. So for me, there's less editing on the skin. So, but yes, I retouch obviously blemishes, little spots, or if someone is like, "Oh, can you touch this?"
Right. It's not there all the time.
Exactly.
It's just, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
the way to go. It's kind of, we're navigating some interesting waters ahead now because there's so much out there that is fake.
Yeah.
With AI. And I don't know about you, but I've had clients bring in photos that they think are human beings. And it's like, no, actually, this is an AI image. It's like, it's a little bit scary because people are now wanting like what looks like, an AI image. What are your thoughts on that? Where we're headed?
Yeah. So same. I agree with you. I'm a little bit scared. I think we're already really struggling with, Photoshop, heavily retouched images. And now we have those like completely fake. It's not even a real person that has been retouched in a program. So I think we're going to see people asking more of this. And I had people asking, of, heavy Photoshop. And I have to say no, because I don't want to really, again, be associated with this type of photography because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in looking so different than who you are in real life, looking like a cartoon, or like there's no zero imperfection on the skin. And one of my mentors says, you are imperfect, and this is what's beautiful about you. And I want people to really embrace this. And for myself, I don't always love the way I look, and I feel like photography is already bringing this those feelings of like, okay, I look at this photo and this is what I look like. Am I okay with this?
Yeah, like a
And
certain
now,
vulnerability,
absolutely.
right?
And I feel like some people who are already struggling with body image, self-love, self-worth, now we're going to show them fake images, completely like not real people. So I'm a little bit worried. And that's why I feel like I almost want to go the opposite way and be very open about talking about not photoshopping my photos and being more vocal about it. And I'm a little bit worried about that. I haven't really like touched on this on social media. Even my website doesn't mention anything. And at the same time, I think like it is a time for us to really lean into this and lean into, okay, there's AI, and then we want real people. We want to see real faces. We want to see real humans.
Mhm.
And because we're searching for authenticity, we're searching for community. And it's really hard to have community with a robot. I'm sorry, but
Right?
I would rather be in a community with real people. And so I think there might be an opportunity here to actually create a completely different movement with, not heavily retouched images, portraits of real people, and people who want that too. Like I'm pretty sure most of my clients don't want to look like AI, and they don't
Right.
want to have their photos completely distorted, and
Mhm.
they want to be more authentic and more genuine because they are also business owners, entrepreneurs who talk to people. So if you yourself cannot really embrace that human aspect, that vulnerability, humanity, and not being perfect, like how are you going to talk to your clients or your customers about what you do? So I
Exactly.
think this
Yeah.
is going to be such a big conversation, and
Yeah.
that my take on this might not be popular. I'm not really into the AI thing. I don't want to, have and see only AI images every day.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting topic too, because I feel like we were headed in the right direction in the last 20 years with like the Dove campaign, which I actually recently saw from the early 2000s, which what was barely stepping over the line, but back then, like
Yeah.
having a size 8 model
Mm-hmm.
featured was like, shocking.
Yes.
But if you see that today, you're like, wow, she
Oh.
just looks so normal. And then it was this pushback against like retouching for some time as
Yeah.
well. And now I actually think it's swung the other way in like corporate imagery,
Mm-hmm.
which is, yeah, it's a little bit freaky because I feel like that really drives pop culture in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
ways. And the fact that brands like H&M are now using AI
Mm-hmm.
generated images for their campaign shoots,
Yeah.
they're like the leaders, right? So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of brands will fall into line under that. I think what will happen is people will tire of it and there will be enough pushback eventually. Like I feel like it's still so new right now, but I think it will swing back in the other direction, or you'll see some brands that are completely going in the opposite direction,
Yeah.
and that'll become like the cool thing again.
Yeah.
Or, how beautiful is film photography that it's
Yeah.
like that's the image, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I realize too that like you can scan it in and you can edit it, but yeah, I'm hoping that we are in the peak right
Mm-hmm.
now of the AI, and it's like new and maybe exciting and we're really like experimenting with it, but I am hopeful that we will tire of it and that it will swing back in the other direction.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it's that fun. It's fun. It's new. Even my boyfriend is showing me AI videos of cats.
Right? And
Yeah.
it's getting really tricky. Like
It's
I
really
get fooled
tricky.
all the time.
Yeah.
All
yes.
the time.
Yeah, same. And or like AI, there's like AI singers now, they do those covers and they're completely changing the song. So
Or there's like one singer that's like blowing up right now. I forget her name, but it's she's like charting, which is like what is happening to art?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. But I feel like this is going to be, you're right. Like it's going to swing completely like the other way, and everyone's going to be sick of it, and then we're coming to go back to maybe common sense and okay, what do we actually want to what do we want to consume?
Right.
And I feel like for me, I always go back to like, okay, but what are my values and what do I want to share in my work, not just my life. Like my work is part of me, and what I put online and what I put out in the world is saying something. And what am I saying if I kind of like fall into this AI trend of like all of my photos are going to look like, I call them cartoons because for me they look like little cartoons.
They do. Yeah. And another scary thing too is that it's becoming easier and easier for us to do that, to manipulate photos, because with the click of a button now you have like a, the robot face basically.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, I think there's a lot of benefit to what AI has to offer.
Yeah.
But I think that it has gone overboard. And we really have to be careful and mindful of like, how far we take it.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you're open to it, I have some rapid fire questions I would like to ask you.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So your favorite part of running your photography business?
Having my own schedule.
Hardest lesson you've learned?
It's okay to say no.
One piece of advice you'd give your younger self?
Say no.
Who inspires you creatively right now?
Oh, that's a tough one. I love watching any men's like fashion shoot or like GQ type of shoots lately. I don't know. I found them very creative and very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Most overused trend in photography?
That's a tough one. I'm going to say AI.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
A brand you'd love to shoot for?
Oh, I'd love to shoot for NYX, the Canadian company. Yeah, I found their campaigns are already so good. I love they use real people. They use influencers, but also real people. I love what they do. Yeah.
Book or podcast that changed your perspective?
Okay, the book that changed my perspective is The Linchpin by Seth Godin. I read this book when I started my photography journey, so 2009, and it talks about how to be this person that really is the link, the thing that is like changing the structure of a company or the structure of a business. Like be that person that is like really essential and will impact the business in a bigger way.
Ooh, I'll have to look for that one. Okay. And the last question, what's your creative superpower?
Oh my God. I hope I make people feel good about themselves. Yeah.
I think you do. You have a very relaxed and like open and welcoming way about you. So,
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Which is the perfect way to wrap up this episode. I just want to say I really loved my time with you. And thank you for being so open and generous with your answers and your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I love chatting with you. And same, you have such a sweet, kind aura. It was amazing talking to you.
Making me blush. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Art Estate. If you enjoyed our conversation, be sure to subscribe and follow along on Instagram for behind-the-scenes content and updates at Art Estate Podcast and at Nicole Romanoff Photo. You can now watch full episodes on YouTube. Just search Art Estate Podcast and hit subscribe to follow along visually. New episodes drop every Tuesday. See you next time for another inspiring conversation.